it's Jess, and welcome back to another speed build. Today we are building in the world of Brindleton Bay, technically Haven's Hollow. If you are new to my channel or new to this series, I am creating this New England autumnal inspired world with a missing person mystery attached to it for the save file. And this is the second to last build in that series, which is so exciting. I'm really excited to finish it up, especially since it's now fall again. When I first started this, it was fall, and now it is fall again. And this time, hopefully I'll be able to get out the save file, maybe November. I know it's the last month of fall, but it's still fall. And at that point, I guess in December, when fall's over and everyone's sad because it's winter now, you can live vicariously through your Sims. But anyway, this build is going to be the mayor's house. You can see it. Mayor and other rich fam. I don't know what that means, but yes, this is the mayor's house. So the mayor of this town plays quite a big part in the storyline of the mystery. I'm not going to give any spoilers, but she does. She is actually the first mayor to ever not be born and raised in Haven's Hollow. She moved to Haven's Hollow after meeting her now husband in university. So she's the first mayor in the whole entire history of Haven's Hollow to have ever not been born and raised in the town. So she has a lot of people who are not happy with her, quite obviously, I think, but she's cool. I like her. She is a big part of the mystery and the story, but she's cool. And this house is quite different from the other ones in this neighborhood. In this neighborhood, we mainly have those beautiful white Cape Cod homes that you think of when you think of maybe the Hamptons or something. I also said think of way too many times. There's also one Cape Cod rundown house, but this one is still a nice house, but I imagine it's a little on the older side, very historical. And because of that, I got to use a color scheme that I hadn't used before, one that I really needed because I was getting sick of the white and what is it, beige? Tan wood, light brown wood, I don't know what to call it, and blue, because that's what I'd been using for the last 3 builds, and I was getting bored. So this one is more warm, and I think it's very, very autumnal and very fitting for this world. It ends up being a really cute house. We have the parents' bedroom and then both kids. So there is a teenage girl who's very studious. She's the valedictorian of the school, and she also plays a very big role in the mystery of Haven's Hollow and the disappearance of Corine Sanford. And then just her little brother, who is he's not that important to the story, but he's cute. He's a sweetie. So yes, that is who this house is for. It's not the biggest house, especially for the lot that it's on, but I could not bite off more than I could chew. Okay, so I was very reasonable with the size of this build, especially because the next build, which is the last build, is going to be very big. It will be the abandoned boathouse on the little island in Brindleton Bay. And for that one, I've started it and I'm how am I going to achieve this? Because I'm not that good at building and I don't know how to make a house look abandoned and such, but I'm trying my hardest and I'm sure at some point I will succeed, hopefully. Hopefully soon, within the coming weeks. I'm hoping to get it out November, and then maybe a week after that I'll release the save file. I've done a lot of work on the save file and the storyline and the mystery and the case file that goes along with it. So I have my work cut out for me. We'll see if it comes out November. I mean, I have a full-time job, so we'll see, but I'm really, really hoping. So stay tuned for that. I'll create a whole video dedicated to showing off the save file and all of the Sims, which I have not created, but it's not going to be too difficult because I don't like creating Sims without CC, so they're just gonna breeze through that one. And then we're going to figure out the whole entire mystery. And I'm so excited for you guys to play, like really, really excited. I put so much work into fleshing out the mystery, making it compelling, making sure that anyone can play. Now this save obviously uses all the packs that I own, but because I want to be like a little bit accessible to people who rightfully do not own all of the packs, I don't either. The only truly required packs for this save file are the base game and cats and dogs. But that's not completely true. Like, you need all the packs if you want all the Sims to be dressed and all of the furniture to be there. But if you want to play the mystery and solve the mystery, you only need those 2 packs. If there's any item in game that is impacted by the mystery, it is from either the base game or cats and dogs. So if you only have base game and cats and dogs, you're good. You're golden. If you only have base game, I'm sorry. I'm going to, at some point, hopefully create a base game world in this save file that will also have its own mystery and be very fun, but I'm not quite at that point yet. Either way, I had a lot of fun with this build, specifically the brown kind of color, and then I put in a blue door. I think it ends up looking really cool. It looks very, very like Northeast America, Cape Cod, and kind of like the summer I turned pretty. I know that's big. Did you guys watch the latest season? What did you guys think? Because I did not watch it. I got, like, I want to say bored. I just, like, what's the term for it? Like, the characters felt very hard to watch in a way that the first 2 seasons didn't. But if it ends up being really good, like, tell me and I'll go watch it. Because, you know, I did dedicate 2 whole seasons to that show. And it is part of the, like, I guess one of the shows that inspired the save file. Not as much as, like, Pretty Little Liars, but it's definitely up there, especially with the Cape Cod homes. Those styles were definitely inspired by The Summer I Turned Pretty. Anyway, as far as life updates go, this is actually very exciting. This episode, or video, I don't know why it's an episode. I guess it is an episode because it's part of a series. Anyways, this video is coming out on the anniversary of my YouTube career. I don't know if you can call it a career, but yes, this day, October 15th, last year, I started my YouTube channel. Now, it was not with the series, but it might as well have been. The series has been going on way too long for how little is in it, but builds are not my thing, and I've spent a lot of time off screen working on it, obviously working on the save file and the case file that is not part of speed builds, which takes up a lot of time. But yes, it is my anniversary, and it feels very bittersweet with what is happening with The Sims right now. And I've been branching out to other games, but I don't know, I do love this game. I hope nothing changes. This game is kind of whacked, though. If you cannot see from the giant icon in the corner that I thought I made smaller, but apparently not. I'm still on the game version where the venue icon in the top left corner like flashes or pulses like literally every 3 seconds, and it's so annoying. And especially when I put the game speed up to 400% to like do the speed builds, it's just way too much. So I have covered that up with my face. That's not because I'm like trying to avoid people stealing my work or something. No, I just like don't want you to have to sit there and watch the pulsing venue icon. And I know they have like fixed it recently, but I'm way too terrified to update my game, so that's not gonna happen. Anyway, if you cannot see, we had quite a big jump after I finished doing the outside of the house. I decided to do all the landscaping off screen. Don't ask me why, but I get like so much anxiety when I film myself doing landscaping. Like, it's literally ridiculous. I'm not sure why or who or how, but yeah, I just decided to shut it off and do the landscaping on my own. It's like very basic landscaping. I honestly am not in love with it, but Beggars can't be choosers. I also had a really hard time with this backyard because I wanted it to look nice, but I didn't know what to do. And I still am not happy with it, but, it is what it is, and I'll survive somehow. But I do really love all the, red and orange trees. It hasn't quite become, autumn where I am in the world. The trees haven't started changing yet, and I'm like, are you going to? Because it's getting cold, and you better not snow before I get in autumn. That pisses me off. Oh my gosh. When autumn lasts 1 week and then it's winter. Oh, it's so mean. I think some of the trees are changing, but not enough for my liking. Yeah. You can see in here now, I also did the floor plan and most of the wallpaper and flooring off screen. I just find it boring to watch that, so I just did this. And we have dark wood floorings, which is unique for this kind of upscale neighborhood. But I really just wanted it to feel cozy and fun. And I don't know, I was sick. I was sick of the white. Way too much white. There's still white in this build, obviously, but not nearly to the level that it was before. Now, as far as this family goes, I've already told you a bit about them, but we'll go into them some more because they are important characters, hence why they get a whole house to themselves. Important characters do get to live actually in the world. As I said, we had the mayor, and then we have her husband, and I haven't quite talked about him yet. He is the veterinarian of the world, and he owns a very small practice. And what's interesting is that he offered, I don't really want to call it an internship because it wasn't. It's more like he had a volunteer opportunity for Corine Sanford, our missing person, at his vet office. So she was learning under him a bit of what happens in at the vet and learning things, and she wanted to pursue that for her future after going to college and so on and henceforth. I don't know. But he does have quite a close relationship with her because of that. They know each other quite well. Now, the teenage daughter that I talked about before, she is the valedictorian. But the very interesting part of this is that if Corine Sanford was not missing, Corine would be the valedictorian this year. This is their senior year of high school. So I guess one of the main questions is, in the disappearance, if there was any foul play, could it have been the teenage daughter of this house? Was she jealous that Corine was overtaking her academic place, especially since all this girl has going for her is her academics. She's one of those types. And so she is definitely high on the suspect list. And you'll have to play yourself to figure out if she had anything to do with Corine's disappearance. I'm not going to tell you. But she is one of the suspects. And you can definitely pursue her as your option as you go through the case file and the save file and figure out who you think did it. Now, if you are completely new to the series and have no idea what this case file is, what this mystery is, how it functions, I will go over that briefly. We have different ways to gain information in this save file. You can find physical clues, and those will reveal important information for you and also unlock new things in the case file. We can also find Corine's diary entries. She had a diary for the last year of her life, leading up to her disappearance. Not quite the last year. It starts at January 1st, obviously the new year, and then ends before her disappearance. And somehow the diary got ripped out and scattered across town, and you have to find a diary entry on every single lot. And the diary entries will tell you a bit about her story, her family, her relationships, and also a bit about what she was doing leading up to her disappearance. So that's another way you can find information, which will unlock other things in the case file. The case file is mainly based off of finding things, and then those things unlock new events in the case file. We have so many interviews in this case file. We have an interview for every single person in the world and outside of the world that is included in Havens Hollow. Obviously, Brindleton Bay is not big enough to have like all of the Sims I wanted to include within the world. So a lot of them are out of world NPCs, but you can still interview them if you run into them on the street, and they can give you important information. And they might even be integral to the case file and figuring out what happened to Corine, if she's still alive or if something nefarious has happened. There are also in-home interviews with everyone who lives in the world. So everyone who lives in the world has a run-in interview where you meet them on the street, and also an in-home interview where you need to get permission to go into their home to interview them. And that will give you more information. There are also news clippings and like websites that you can find that have information about Havens Hollow and some other interesting things that might or might not be relevant to Corine's disappearance. And then lastly, I think, are the interrogations. So this is when you have a suspect or you need to interrogate someone because you need more information from them, and you take them to the police station and you are able to question them. These are the most telling, and they also require the most unlocks to achieve. Now with all of these, you can go pretty much any route you want, any order you want, which makes it very interesting because if you take a wrong turn, you will get the quote-unquote bad or unsolved ending, where you don't solve Corine's disappearance. There are multiple ways to get the bad unsolved ending, and there's like different unsolved bad endings depending on your route that you take. And then there are also many, I don't want to call them good endings, but there are many like solved endings. And there's different degrees to which you solve this mystery. You can solve just basically what happened to Corine, how she disappeared, if she's alive, if she's gone. But you can also have more in-depth and if you learn more about the world and learn more about Corine and what she was doing leading up to her disappearance, you can actually solve more than the question of what happened to Corine. And then there's also the overhanging mystery of how did Corine's diary entries get scattered around the world? Does that have anything to do with why she disappeared, or is it a separate event altogether? So there's a lot to do in the save file, and I might have bitten off more than I could chew, but it is what it is, and I think it's going to be very fun. I hope people are able to play through the save file and not be confused. That's my main concern. So please, if you end up playing through it, let me know what you think. I'm really interested to see if you were able to follow the case file well, what ending you got. You can also replay this if you get a bad ending, so to speak. And the challenge of this comes from the 2-week time limit. This assumes you have seasons installed. Of course, it's not necessary, but it does impact the game if you want it to. And you start the first day of the fall-autumn season. And Corine has been missing for a few weeks now. And you come in as this detective hired from like the big city or something, because the small sheriff's department here simply doesn't have the resources to deal with a disappearance. And yeah, that is basically how the case file goes. You start in autumn, you do it on the 2-week seasonal time span, so you have the 2 weeks of autumn in game to figure out what happened to Corine. And that can happen to different degrees. There is the best ending, the most solved ending, where you get to know everything that happened, but it is harder to get. especially within that 2-week time limit, because things are put on a timer. If you want to search a house for clues, the house is only open for 3 days for you to search for clues. And a bunch of other stuff like that, where there's a time limit on things. For any of the news articles, you can only read one a day. So that means you have to be diligent about going through and reading, having your sim read a book every day, or having your sim look at things on the computer every day in order to get that information, which again, everything usually unlocks something else. So it's very in-depth. I think I've bitten off more than I could chew, but I had fun, and I'm having fun. I'm having to get through the ending stages. I haven't quite finished it all up, but I've gotten quite far. I think the hardest part is the formatting, figuring out how to format everything. Especially, I just did all the news articles like a few weeks ago. And holy crap, like going through and formatting it to actually look like a newspaper, and also making sure all of my news articles fit within that format. It was difficult, but I survived. I think the hardest part after that will be pasting in all the photos of all of the Sims, because I do have photos in there, and a map. We'll see if it comes out in November. I might have to wait till December. But it's going to come out in 2025, okay? That is my promise to you. Whether it's November 2025 or December 25, it will come out in 2025. Okay. Now that I'm done yapping about the save file, we can talk a bit more about the actual house. I've pretty much not talked about anything that has happened inside, but as you can see, I do think it's really, really cozy and cute and fun. There are a lot of awards placed around this house. I imagine this family is very big on achievement. So if you get an award, it gets put in a place where everyone can see it. Everyone can see this. I think that happens in the dining room, in that little hall I just finished. There are awards everywhere. I think I might even put some here. I can't remember. I also think I put some upstairs. So there's just a lot going on. There's a study through this door here that is maybe my favorite room in the house, even though there's not much in it. I just think it looks so cozy and cute and fun. You'll also see I skipped through all the bathrooms because that thing wasn't cute. I don't like bathrooms. And we're putting in a cat room. I kind of forgot that I was playing in Brindleton Bay, and this is my big chance to add pets within a save file. So I think at this point this is the 3rd or 4th pet. Can't quite remember. I do think it's the only cat though. Maybe not. Who knows? Either way, we have a cat who lives here, and she's mostly the teenage daughter's cat. The little boy also does like to play with her and have fun, but it's the teenage daughter's cat. Let's be honest. And something I didn't mention about her, besides possibly her throne of valedictorian being taken away by Corine, she is very jealous and very mean to Corine. Corine's whole idea is that maybe she's jealous of her boyfriend. I mean, we don't really know, but yeah, she is a very, very jealous person, and she does not like Corine at all. She's very mean to her. She's actually quite a bully, which is so fun. I think it's more realistic for me, for a smart person to be a bully. I don't know why. It also kind of goes Paris Geller from Gilmore Girls. I imagine if they didn't try and make Paris and Rory friends, Paris would have absolutely died that Rory became valedictorian. She would have killed someone. And it's honestly so unrealistic. How did Rory become valedictorian? Anyway, I'm rambling for no reason about Gilmore Girls. This is the teen daughter's bedroom. It definitely looks more lived in than a lot of the houses we've been doing recently in the save file. Recently in the save file, it's been very big money homes. We had the B&B, so obviously you can't put too much personality into that one. And we had the vet clinic, which was surprisingly very clean for being a vet clinic. but this one has a bit more personality, a bit more like hominess. It seems like a fun place to live, unlike a lot of the other builds we've been doing, to be honest. And I like it quite a lot. I like the dark wood tones. That's where I'm at. That's where I need to live. This feels far more autumnal than a lot of the builds we've been doing recently. It's like I started off very, very autumnal in the like community lot district. And then slowly over time, it became less and less autumnal and more just like, what is rich New England aesthetic? So this one was really fun. And the next one, oh my gosh, I think it's going to be a really cool build if I can achieve what I want to achieve, which I really hope I can. We'll see. But again, it is an abandoned boathouse, like a party place. Imagine kids get on a ferry from the mainland, go over to the island, and it's supposed to be a place where you can like visit the lighthouse. I imagine the boathouse is completely like boarded up, and maybe there's a huge fence. I should remember that when I go back to the build. Put a huge like wire fence around it. But of course, kids will be kids. They'll find a way to get in. That's just how they are. So it will be a party space, even though it's decrepit and crumbling and probably extremely dangerous. The kids will find a way and they will party their little hearts out, right? So yeah, the boathouse is a very important lot in the save file as well. I mean, every lot is kind of important. No, that's a lie. There's definitely lots that are not important, except for like maybe finding an odd clue or a diary entry. But the boathouse, a very, very important lot. Like maybe the most important, honestly. Besides Corine's family house and her best friend and boyfriend's house. No, I think they're more important than that. I think the boathouse might genuinely be the most important like lot in the game. So it's quite like suiting that I do it last. Not only because it's the hardest, but because possibly it's the most important. So please like and subscribe. Please subscribe so you can see when the boathouse speed build releases and when hopefully November or December the save file finally goes public and people can start playing through the mystery. That's what I'm most excited for, is to see people play and solve the mystery, figure out what happens to Corine. That's what I'm excited for. So I hope people play it, or else I'll be sad, because it's not very fun to play myself. That's the problem with making a save file like this, is even though, I made it, I've spent so long creating this world. Like, I know what happens, I wrote it. So it's not very fun to play through the mystery myself. But who knows, maybe when I play it, I'll have a bunch of fun. I am going to play test it, hopefully before the release, to make sure everything is smooth and runs well, and you can actually, solve the mystery within the 2-week time limit that I allowed it. And I don't know, maybe I'll put it in like an early access situation or like an unplay tested situation. And then if I play test and find things wrong, I'll update. We'll see what I do. It all depends on when I get things done. Because I'm slow. It took 2 years to finish the save file. It's one world. 2 years? 1 year. Did I say 2 years or 1 year? Oh, I can't remember. It took 1 year. And it's going to be 2. I mean, 1 year and a couple months to finish the save file. And it's not even that much. Like, Brindleton Bay isn't a small world, but it's also not a big one. I don't know. I feel bad. I also just don't work on it too much because, let me tell you, my least favorite thing to film are speed build voiceovers. I'm great filming speed builds. I like building. I like not having to talk while I'm focusing on the game. But speed build voiceovers, what I'm doing right now, I do not like. My least favorite thing to do for YouTube, which is very sad. But this one is a very short voiceover. This video is only 30 minutes long, so I don't have to stress too much. But it is something I don't like. And with that, I am just about done with this speed build. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I rambled quite a bit, but I had a lot of fun building this. I love the vibe. I love the color scheme. I love the coziness of this build. let me know in the comments, what do you think of this build? Are you excited for the save file? Will you play it? Just let me know. But with all that being said, please like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more. Peace and love. Bye.